It's already 2024 and we're coming up to our first event this year, and it is with you. It's called The Search for the Beloved Within. Lots of people know you, some people don't. So, can you tell us a little bit about who is True?
I'm a singer-songwriter, a poet, and a psycho-spiritual guide. And it has been my passion to assist with people discovering their own hearts and to find unity between their mind and their heart.
Why are you doing this event? What inspired you to do it?
Well, this event is the result of a lifetime of searching for the beloved myself, which took me into doing many, many years of various types of service work with people in order to unravel the stories that people are experiencing in their life and whether those stories are actually making them happy, whether there's something more that they're seeking, and that this evening will be an introduction into a journey of uncovering the stories that we are telling ourselves and that we would like to write, to rewrite in our lives.
I want to keep tagging on to that. You said the beloved. Our title is The Beloved Within. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, in a very simple way, we're all seeking love in our lives. And in all the years that I have worked in counseling with people, um, people have always struggled with loving themselves, with feeling that they're loved in the world. And so the purpose of this is to uncover the stories that we tell ourselves and whether they bring us to the joy and the love that we truly want to feel.
So, you mentioned the stories we tell ourselves. In this event, there are three things that you're focusing on. Can you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, these three areas. First area is the area of sort of the psychology of our personal selves, who we say we are, and how the definition of that, in terms of who we say we are, is very much connected to what we have been born into in our society and how we identify ourselves in the world, in the social world, in the culture that we've been born into. And so we live out a story that has been, in a sense, overlaid on top of us. And we accept it and fully identify with that story. But as a result, that story becomes unconscious. And so we often find that I may be living the story that I was given in a sense, abide by, but there's all kinds of other stories that are speaking to me, desires to step into newer ways of being able to experience myself, which leads us into the second emphasis of this evening in the talk, which is the psychology of the creative self, of the potential within us that all of us feel and struggle with in terms of, can I actually live up to that potential? Will it be acceptable? And what is it? What are the gifts that I experience in myself? And am I living out those gifts in the world? Am I experiencing them and sharing them? Or have I kept myself small in relationship to that? And then when we go into the third area, it's probably the most mysterious area because it is the area of unity consciousness, that we are connected to something that connects us all together. And what does that feel like? How would we relate to that? How would we identify being unified with life, interconnected with everything and with each other?
That's very exciting. I feel like I want to dive into it right now. So, in short, what can people expect at this event?
I think the biggest thing that people can expect is that they will begin to really unravel and discover the stories that have become unconscious, stories that we aren't necessarily fully aware of, that we just, it's like automatic pilot. We live on this automatic pilot, and we keep in this loop of telling a story that doesn't necessarily represent the full possibility of the aliveness that we would like to feel. So people would walk away with more insight, greater awareness, and I would say the most powerful aspect would be the questions, the questions that we would ask ourselves, and the answers that would start to surface as a result of asking those questions. And in the asking of those questions, we would begin to become authors of our life instead of living according to the authorities that have, in a sense, designed our way of perceiving ourselves and relating to ourselves.
That's exciting. But everybody loves your music. Will there be any singing and playing of the guitar?
Absolutely. I mean, that it's been one of the great joys of me sharing the music, because I've very much have focused on writing songs that actually highlights these very issues, these very questions that we ask, and the desire to be deeply connected to ourselves. Many people have said to me, as a result of sharing my songs and my music, that they were started to feel things within themselves that they had forgotten to feel. They began to understand things about themselves that they had forgotten or didn't even realize that they could understand, but could feel the hunger for that understanding within themselves.
Would you say that the power of your music is that it sort of short circuits the brain a little bit and taps, and it more than tapping, I feel like it kind of lands in the heart a lot quicker.
Yes, I would totally agree with that. Um, Especially because when I write the songs, that's exactly what I'm experiencing.
Mm.
I'm experiencing the questions, the curiosities of my own mind, the observations of what I see in the world, see going on in other people's lives, see how that actually connects to what I experience in my life, and then expressing the song in such a way where the emotional flavor and perfume of the songs is actually what starts to make people go into the heart.
My experience, I have to be honest, there are certain songs and certain parts of songs where I feel like you could be telling my story. And there's something to be said when you can relate to that music as if it was about you. And I know a few other people who've said the same thing, and I think you were referring to that with what you said. That is the power of your music. And when you bring that together with the guiding, what if you were to give it one word of what that would feel like at the end of the night, what would you say?
Uh, do I have to understand your question again?
So, one conclusive word. My word for that is magic. But which word would you use to describe the harmony and the dance between guiding and the music?
You know, what comes to mind is a song I recently wrote and recorded, put into a video, and put it on YouTube. And the desire in writing this particular song came from the fact that I was seeing the struggles and the sufferings that have been going on in the world and in people close. And it was the idea that when you lose things that are precious to you, it can be very difficult to love again. And so this song that I wrote is called To Love Again.
Mm.
And it's a song that takes you into the journey of the trauma and the suffering, but it ends by a deep reminder of our capacity to love again. So at the heart of this, I would say 3 words: to love again.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I look forward to this event. It'll
Thank
be
you.
fun.
Thank you.